Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, the fight that I'll be predicting is UFC on Fox, Poirier versus Gaethje. And I'll just be predicting the main card fight. So without further ado, let's get into the first fight on the main card that I'll be predicting. So, in our first fight, we have Michelle Waterson versus Cortney Casey in the women's strawweight division. And Michelle Waterson is a talented fighter. She's on the smaller end for the weight class, but she has a huge arsenal of strikes. She's very technical, good everywhere. And Cortney Casey, pretty solid striker, and definitely nowhere near as technical as Michelle Waterson, but she's huge for the weight class, and Michelle is small for the weight class. And Cortney Casey has a style, like, she's maybe not the highest ranked fighter in the weight class, but she's one of those fighters that not highly ranked, not highly touted, but she could give anybody in the division a hard way to go. And one of those like dark horse fighters that could give people in the top 10, top 5 a loss, and like maybe upset losses, or maybe to other people I wouldn't consider them upsets if she beat them, because Cortney Casey is definitely a dangerous fighter in the weight class and could beat a lot of people in this weight class. And I think she's a bad stylistic matchup for Michelle Waterson, who a lot of times when she lost outside of her atom weight, she lost to people that were bigger and stronger than her, and they used their size against her. And I think Cortney Casey is bigger and stronger than anybody she has faced, at least in recent years, at least in the UFC. So I think Cortney Casey will kind of use that to her advantage. I think early on, Michelle Waterson will be able to use her, be technical and use her speed advantage and use her striking advantage to pick apart Cortney Casey. But I think when Cortney Casey starts to wear on her and land on her, Michelle Waterson will slow down. And then Cortney Casey will be able to pick her apart, land some hard strikes that Michelle Waterson will certainly feel. Then from that point, Cortney Casey either chooses to take it to the ground and land some hard strikes and try to incorporate some grappling and weigh on her even more. But I see her landing hard strikes, and once she starts slowing down, Waterson will still be landing the more volume, but Cortney Casey will be landing the harder strikes, the more telling strikes. And in the grappling exchange, she will have the advantage based off her size and just shutting down a lot of Michelle Waterson's technique just with size and strength. And I see Cortney Casey not TKOing Michelle Waterson, but I see her grinding out a decision. I think it would be competitive, but I see Cortney Casey winning a clear-cut decision over Michelle Waterson. And then in our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Marvin Vettori versus Israel, the style bender, Adesanya. And Vettori, definitely a talented fighter, but I think he's more so just a well-rounded fighter. He has solid grappling, definitely dangerous there, striking, dangerous there, but is he spectacular in any area? Not really. And I think for him to beat Israel Adesanya, who's definitely probably by far the best striker in the division at this moment, maybe I'm going too far, but in my opinion, I think he's the best striker in the division at this moment, coming from his background and his arsenal of strikes. I think he'll have a huge advantage on the feet. And Vettori, as far as the ground game, I think Adesanya will be able to defend a lot of Vettori's takedowns. But for Vettori to win, I think he has to make it ugly. But I think Adesanya is going to be able to break him down mentally, physically, shut down a lot of his takedowns. And if he does get him, he'll get right back up from them. And then once he finds pretty much find his openings and find the weaknesses and like pretty much holes in either Vettori striking or anything and start landing, Vettori will start to slow down. And those and those strikes and openings and those holes and those pockets will open up, and Adesanya will capitalize, and I see him knocking Vettori out in the second round. Then in our next fight in the welterweight division, we have Carlos Condit versus Alex Oliveira. And another interesting matchup. I think Alex Oliveira, he has okay grappling, nothing spectacular. Carlos Condit has pretty good submission ability. He does lose a lot of time to like grapplers and stuff. Like they take him down and they can hold him down. He doesn't do too well. His takedown defense is not the best. But he definitely is solid off his back, has a lot of good submissions, well-rounded everywhere. A huge arsenal of strikes, a solid chin, a solid fighter. One of the hardest fighters. I mean, like, one of the best, like, I don't know, one of the most, how you even say it, like, he's a warrior. And he's one of the best warriors in the division, in the sport. He'll take it just as he gives it, not a quitter by any means, and he's a blood and guts type of fighter. So this fight could play out that way. I think if it does play out that way, I think I favor Carlos Condit that way. But I think Carlos Condit is also far more technical on the feet than Alex Oliveira. I think he could hit him with elbows a lot of times over Oliveira's sloppy kind of strikes. But he definitely has to watch out for the power of Alex Oliveira. Alex Oliveira kind of has some awkward striking, but he has a lot of power. And Carlos Condit doesn't always have the best striking defense. So he has to worry about that. I think that's what Alex Oliveira presents one of the most dangerous areas for Carlos Condit in that power. But also, Oliveira is very strong, so if he chooses to try to wrestle Carlos Condit, he could potentially find a path to victory through there. But for the most part, I see Oliveira definitely will get at least one takedown. I don't know how Carlos Condit will deal with it, but he might give up a round based off that takedown. But I eventually see Carlos Condit just breaking down Oliveira, showing that Carlos Condit has more heart. He's a better warrior. He's more of a warrior than Oliveira. Wear him out, start landing those elbows out from the bottom on the top, picking him apart on the feet with just that a huge arsenal of strikes that he has and the variety and the creativity that he has. And I see him cracking Alex Oliveira and TKO and Alex Oliveira in the third round after breaking him down in the first and most of the second, and with a late second round stoppage for Carlos Condit via TKO. Then in our main event, we have Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje in the lightweight division. Justin Gaethje will have the size, and Dustin Poirier will have the speed and the technical advantage. But that doesn't mean that Justin Gaethje is just some ballroom brawler. He's definitely technical. You don't get to this point just being a brawler. So he's definitely technical, and he has a lot of good technique. And it's pretty much underrated, especially his wrestling, which he doesn't really use too much. I think that will cause this fight to be more of a standing fight. I don't think Poirier will have much success trying to take Justin Gaethje down at any point. Justin Gaethje will either hit a wizard or quickly get back to his feet. He's not a fighter that gets held down. And along with his size and his technique, it'll be hard for Poirier to do that strategy successfully. So I don't think this fight will be on the ground more than 20 seconds, or any fighter will be on their back more than 20 seconds unless one of them get knocked out and they're on their back for 20 seconds because they got knocked out. So I think this fight will be mostly standing. They can mix in some takedowns, but for the most part, I see this fight as a stand-up battle. Poirier will be looking to use his speed, his power, his technique. And Gaethje will be looking to make this fight ugly. He'll be using his size. He'll be using elbows. He'll be using those low chopping leg kicks that he has used successfully in many fights that have caused other fighters like knee damage, ankle damage, and all this other stuff. And Dustin Poirier certainly had issues with low chopping leg kicks against Jim Miller, and I think Justin Gaethje's low chopping leg kicks are even worse and like have caused more damage and do more damage, especially with his size, the way he throws it. It's just a unique way in which he does it. It's a unique effect when he hits you with those low chopping leg kicks. So those will factor in this fight. I feel like Dustin Poirier will have the more tools to win this fight, and if he keeps it technical, I think he can certainly make it a easier night for him. But by no means will this be an easy fight. This will be a hard fight. Gaethje will bring this fight to him, and Dustin Poirier will have to give it back to him. He just has to be aware not to get into a brawl. If this fight goes into a brawl because Dustin Poirier, as technical as he is, he often gets lured into brawls. Even in fights that he's winning, clearly he will get into a brawl. And I think if he gets into a brawl with Gaethje, I see Gaethje just knocking him out. Especially, he can get into some brawls at times, but if it's too long, more than 5 seconds of a brawl, I'd see Dustin Poirier getting knocked out. But I feel that Dustin Poirier is at this point where he's trying to get to a title shot. So he's going to fight smarter in this fight. He knows what he has to do to win. He's going to use his speed. He's going to use his technique. He's going to avoid that brawling with Gaethje. Pick his punches. I feel that he'll pick apart Gaethje throughout 3 rounds, throughout 2 rounds, and then in the third round, Gaethje will be more worn out from all the strikes and the clean strikes that Poirier landed in the earlier rounds. And I feel that the volume and the accuracy, along with Poirier's power, will lead to a TKO stoppage in the third round for Dustin Poirier. So in this fight, I have Dustin Poirier winning via third round TKO. So that completes my fight prediction for UFC on Fox. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.